All right. So today's lesson is going to be for Greek culture. So we're going to be learning a lot about their way of life and how they lived and their belief in the gods and things like that. So I'm going to present my screen. It's very similar to the stations that we have been doing where I read you information. You guys need to answer questions about it. Sorry, there's not a whole lot else we can do with this stuff. I'll try and find the video for tomorrow. I know I said I would do that today, but this is kind of a longer assignment, so I want to make sure you guys have the time to work on this one. This one might even go until tomorrow. So basically on Google Classroom, if you reload it, you should now have a social studies assignment called Greek culture. There is a Google Doc with the questions on it, so you'll need to open the Google document in a separate slide, or not slide, what's it called? Tab. I'm going to zoom out of this back to 100 and then zoom in on this so we can see it. So there are 10 stations, which is a lot, which is why I don't think we're going to get through all of them today. But each station has a different idea that we'll learn about. So the first one is the gods and their myths. The next one is about city-states and the gods. So we're going to go through each set of information, and then this is a graded assignment. So you guys will be answering these on your own. I am not going to be answering them with you. They will need to be in complete sentences, and I will be grading this. I believe it's 30 points because it's 3 questions per station. So 3 questions for 10 stations makes... Yes, your grades are completely updated as of today. Yep. So once you have that Google Doc open, you can also open up the PDF. You do not have to, but it might be helpful for you to have it open as well. I'll be reading through it, but that doesn't mean you can't have it open as well and use it too. Alex? Quickly.
The whole WUSD thing,
Say it again?
the WUSD blocked me from the thing.
From which one?
Like the WUSD website.
It's completely blocked altogether?
Yeah, it says this website has been blocked by your administrator.
Interesting. Reload the page. Sometimes when you reload it, it does it. I don't know. See if reloading it helps.
No, it's still like that.
Huh. So are you able to pull up these questions that I have up?
Yeah.
Okay. So as long as you have this, that should work. I have no idea why it would be blocking you. But if it keeps doing that, just send me a message on Schoology and I'll talk to technology about it and see why. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Yoshi, did you find it?
It's not all right there. No, it's not there. It's right there. How come it didn't let me show on the other thing? You know, I think that up. Just put it in there.
I don't know, man. All right. So let's go ahead and get going. Our first station is the gods and the myths. So like I said, I will read to you guys, and then you guys will be answering the questions. So the questions you're answering for this slide, this station, is 1, describe the Greek religion. So be looking for that. Number 2, what are the purposes of the myths in Greek culture? So why would they even come up with the myths? And 3, why is the story of Prometheus an example of a myth? So our information here says, to the Greeks, the gods were not distant beings. They became involved in people's lives, and the Greeks loved to tell stories about them. These vivid tales showed that the gods were sometimes cruel and selfish. So myths. Myths are stories that people tell to explain beliefs about their world. Myths often begin as oral or spoken stories. and later they might be written down. The Greeks would use their myths to explain why things were the way they were, using elaborate stories about the gods and the goddesses. This might be an answer to something. Oh my. Next one. The Greeks created myths to explain such things as the creation of the world and of human beings. Many myths describe the gods and goddesses and how they related to one another and to humans. For example, the myth of Prometheus tells us how he stole fire from the gods and gave it to humans. Zeus punished him for this by chaining him to a rock. Every day, an eagle ate his liver, which he would grow back overnight. Today, Prometheus is seen as a hero who defied unjust authority. The Greek gods had both divine and human qualities. They were, for example, very powerful and could shape human events, yet they also had a wide range of human emotions, including love, anger, and jealousy. The gods and the goddesses of Greece constantly competed with one another. Zeus was the ruler of the gods. The Greeks believed that he and 11 other gods and goddesses lived on Mount Olympus, the highest mountain in Greece. So this picture down here is Mount Olympus, the tallest mountain in Greece. And then right here, they kind of have a map of the 12 major god and goddesses. So Hera is the goddess of marriage. Hades is the god of the underworld. Zeus is the king of the gods, the god of the sky, the rain, and the lightning. Poseidon is the god of the sea. Hestia is the goddess of the home. Artemis is the goddess of the hunt, wild animals, and the twin sister of Apollo. Apollo is the god of light. Athena is the goddess of wisdom, the protector of cities. Hermes is the messenger of the gods and the god of the market or trade. Ares is the god of war, and Aphrodite is the goddess of love and beauty.
I keep thinking on Johnson.
Yeah. This is only a few of the gods and goddesses, though. There are hundreds. These are just like the major ones that they talk about the most. The well-known ones. Yep, there are a lot of smaller ones, but these are the major ones. So you have 3 questions here, and that page number 1, station 1, answers them. And again, like I said, I'm not going to be answering them for you or with you. So I'm going to give you guys 4 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes now. We'll do 5 minutes to answer these 3 questions. Now use the information in the passages, and I would like you to write incomplete sentences, please. Complete. Did I say incomplete? I meant complete. Please write in complete sentences. But I've been typing for 25 years. Okay, 25 years is a bit, maybe like 15 years only makes me 10. I learned to type earlier than that. Probably like 18 years of typing. You get better at typing the longer you type. What's up, Yoshi? Like write the answers on paper and then type them later? If you'd like to, yeah. Alrighty, so 5 minutes. Be working on these questions, please, and thank you. I don't know if it will copy and paste. It can? Yes, I will allow you to copy and paste today. If the answer is, if you can copy and paste the answer, sure. If it seems like something that you can't necessarily copy and paste, just type it in your own words, please. Okay, so keep working on that. about 2 more minutes.
And then like this whole page or
Just station 1, numbers 1, 2, and 3.
this is hard. Yeah.
Well, you got this. You just gotta read through it again if you need to. If you need to later, you can. Well, you will need to just go back and finish it later if you don't finish in the time I give you. Okay?
I think I might have to do the whole thing.
Probably not. Just try and get at least 1 done per station so that you're getting somewhere.
I think this. Which one are you putting on? Oh, you're number 2, so whatever.
Okay. The most powerful god I would believe would be Zeus because he's the ruler of the gods. Kronos is not a god; he's a titan. So there is a difference. I don't know. I just know that Zeus is the king of the gods, so he's probably the most powerful. After that, I don't know who comes next. See, but the thing is, Athena is actually really, really powerful. So the order that they are shown on this is probably not the order of power that they are powerful. I have no idea what it's based on. We can always look that up later. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at station number 2. This one has to do with the city-states, and city-states are just towns, different towns in ancient Greece, and how they had to do with the gods. So this has questions 4, 5, 6, and 7 on them. We can't really draw this, so we'll explain that. Okay, number 4 says, what does every city-state in ancient Greece have? Okay, number 5, and city-state just means town, if that confuses you. Okay, just a town. I'm struggling. I got this. There we go. Number 5 is, what is the connection between Athens and Athena? Number 6, how do we know what we do about the culture and the gods in ancient Greece? And number 7, draw below how the goddess Athena was born. We might not be able to draw, so if you can't draw it, especially because we're on technology, it's hard to draw anything on here. You can just explain how she was born. Yeah, if you can figure out how to draw it in there, that's fine. But if anything, just write a sentence that explains it instead. So, maybe. Station number 2. This first sentence, okay, well, hang on. It says, every city-state had a special god or goddess to protect it. For example, Athena, one of the 12 who lived on Olympus, was the protector of Athens and Sparta. She was the goddess of wisdom, craft making, especially weaving, and warfare. So you could probably find an answer to number 4 in there. Probably. Then it says, this is an answer to how she was born. According to the legend, Athena sprang, fully grown, and fully armored from the head of her father, Zeus, ruler of the gods on Mount Olympus. So essentially, just like head opens up, Athena popped out.
What the heck?
That's the legend. That's how they believe it happened with Athena. It says, it is told that he swallowed his pregnant first wife, Metis, meaning wisdom, so that she would not bear a child stronger than he was. In some versions of the story, Athena's birth was assisted by the blacksmith Hephaestus, who opened up Zeus's head with a stroke of his axe. So, yeah, they're immortal, they cannot die, so the way that these things happen to them and what happens in these myths is always a bit mystical and magic-like. Like, they're not really things that you would see that humans can do, but this is how the ancient Greek would describe Athena coming about. Yeah, exactly. So, of particular interest in the story is how Athena came to have the capital city of Greece, which is Athens, named after her. The people of Greece loved Athena so much that they built temples in every city to honor her. Poseidon, her uncle, the god of the seas, wanted the city and challenged Athena for it. Cecrops, the king of Athens, would decide the winner. Moving first, Poseidon demonstrated his power by striking his trident on the rock of the Acropolis. Yoshi, stop, please. As a result of Poseidon's blow, the rock opened up and salt water gushed forth, nearly drowning the city. Next was Athena's move. She quietly knelt and buried something in the ground, which in time grew into the first olive tree. Athena's olive tree turned out to be much more of a useful gift to the people of Athens. The tree's olives provided them with food and oil for lighting and cooking. The tree was also a source of wood for building. Athena's gift was deemed far better by Cecrops, and he declared her the winner of. So Athena won the city with her gift of the olive tree. So that's why they named Athens after her, supposedly, according to the myth. Much of what we are told about Athena has been passed down to us through word of mouth or celebrated in song, fable, poetry, and art, such as paintings on pottery or pieces of sculpture. So here's a painting. This is the painting of Athena giving the gift of the olive tree to Athens. So Athena is right here. She's like, hey, here's this olive tree. This is Poseidon over here, like, no, I'm going to flood the town instead. And then this is the king being like, yeah, Athena's gift was so much better. I don't know. That's what the legend is. I don't know. I don't know anything about the king. So, you have 4 questions to answer on this one. What does every city, state, or the town in ancient Greece have? What is the connection between Athens and Athena? How do we know what we know about culture and the gods in ancient Egypt? I mean Greece, not Egypt, sorry. And draw or explain how Athena was born. Basically, yeah. Okay, so I'll give you 5 minutes on this one. Just give you a little bit of time to work. Again, if you get one done while we're doing this and you need to go back and finish the rest later, totally fine. Just try to get at least one done, please. 1 or 2 as we go through, and you can always finish later. 5 minutes. So how do we nowadays, how can we know anything about culture?
You're in suggestion mode, which makes it like that. I can guess it. I know, right? Draw. I don't think you're gonna get it. Your leg over here? Okay. Still in that water. I'd rather be decided if I could pick one. I'd rather be one of mine is on. I'd be decided. I'll be the messenger. But I can make first again. Yeah. No, I'd rather be me. Everybody would rather be me.
Yeah, it's this part right here. That little paragraph right there is about how we know. Okay, guys, focus up on your work, please. Got about 2 minutes, and then we're gonna move on to our next slide. Number 6 is kind of like, how do we nowadays know about their culture? How did we even find out about it? Yeah, that type of stuff.
I wonder if anybody's still alive from Rome.
Rome is a real place. There are Romans still. Yes.
Really?
Yeah, just like there are still Greeks and Egyptians. They're just not ancient anymore. They're alive now.
Are there any ancient people?
No, ancient people are dead.
I thought at least.
I feel like I shouldn't have to explain that. Now, get back to work, please. Finish at least a couple of them.
I was thinking at least one of them was survived.
It's more than that. It's like 500 years ago. Yeah. It's a long time. So, get back to work, please. Well. Okay, about 1 more minute, and then we're going to go look at station 3. Athena. We literally just read a whole page about Athena, and you asked me who Athena is?
Yeah, I forget things. Sorry.
Oh my goodness.
Wait, I thought Anna didn't have a mom.
Oh my god, Yoshi. They do.
I don't know. He doesn't remember their phone.
Alright, we're gonna move on. So, focus back up, and let's look at station number 3. I guess I should have wrote that I wanted complete sentences here, huh? Was it too late for that? I feel like I don't have to explain that I want complete sentences anymore, though. I ask you guys on everything for complete sentences.
Not on everything. Not on everything, but you can say it.
Pretty much everything I ask you for complete sentences now. So, alright, let's look at station number 3. So there are questions 8 through 11 on this one. Honoring the gods. Number 8 says, what are some of the ways that the ancient Greeks would honor the gods? Number 9, why did the ancient Greeks spend so much time honoring the gods? Number 10, 3 reasons. How were the original ancient Greek Olympics different than our present day Olympics? So like the actual sports thing that gets played now. And number 11, the original Olympics had games that tested what kind of skills? Why do you think they would focus on those skills back then? And what skills do you think we focus on now? So there are 4 questions there that we're going to answer. And let's go read through it. There's 4. 8, 9, 10, and then 11 goes on to the next page. So station 3, honoring the gods. The most important festivals honored the 12 Olympian gods. In Greece, games were always part of religious festivals. The largest and most elaborate of these were the Olympics held in the city of Olympia. The Olympics were games held every 4 years as part of a major festival that honored Zeus. They took place in a stadium where only men competed in these contests. In the same city, one of the ancient wonders of the world was a statue of Zeus, much of the gold and ivory by a Greek sculptor, Phidias. There was a place, this was placed inside a temple, although it was a towering 42 feet high. The oldest records of the winners at the Olympics date back to 776 BC, but the games might have been going on for centuries before that. The first, we're about to really legitimately read that right now if you didn't cut me off. The first Olympics included only a foot race. Over time, longer races were added and other events too. Events would include wrestling, the long jump, the javelin throw, and the discus throw. These games tested skills that were valuable to soldiers. We still do many of these games today in our modern Olympics, but the biggest difference between can be seen in the wardrobe. Ancient Greeks competed completely naked. We do not see that nowadays, do we? And then we have these little bubbles on the side. So this yellow one says, like other ancient peoples, the Greeks believed it was important to honor the gods. And the blue part says, an angry god could cause trouble. The Greeks created statues of the gods and built temples as places for the gods to live. These temples were usually built on the Acropolis. They also held special events to honor the gods. Certain days of the month were holy to different gods and goddesses or to aspects of nature. People celebrated holy days with sacrifices and public ceremonies. So, we have some stuff about the Olympics. And if you compare that to the Olympics now, how are they different and all of that stuff? So, we have okay, there we go. Got it all on one page. 4 questions here. Yeah, write at least one type. So again, complete sentences. I'm going to give you guys 5 minutes to work on this one. I will after I write the first one. Okay, complete sentences on these. You can get rid of the underline here if you'd like to for A, B, and C so that it's not like a weird thing. You can get rid of the underline and just start typing next to it instead. But again, complete sentences. Yoshi, focus. All right. Numbers 8 through 11. Go ahead and be working on these ones, please. I don't think every man has a participate in the Olympics, but yeah, but I don't think it was every man. I think it was just like going through a phase. Well, the Olympics are always held in the city of Olympics. Yep. That's probably where the Olympics is. Yep, it is. I got one of them now. Huh? I got one of them now. Not there. Probably in the blue section on the right. Yeah, we're not gonna finish them all today. Probably get through 5 or 6 maybe, and then we'll finish them tomorrow. About 3 minutes left on this one. Right about 2 minutes left, and then we're gonna look at station number 4. Mm-mm. So 25 minutes of class. Yep. Hmm? There's a what? What about the literature page? I'm going to read it to you. Yeah.
What was that B word for? What was that word?
Yeah. So talking about number 10? Yeah, so what are some ways that the Olympics nowadays are different from back then?
They're not old.
There are still foot races though, Alex. Because track and field is a lot of foot racing. Hopscotch has never been an Olympic sport, even in the old days. Okay, let's go ahead and look at our next one. Station number 4. If you are not done, that's okay. You'll be able to finish it up after or on your own time. So what we're looking for here is number 12. How would I know if I was reading a fable? Number 13, what is an epic poem? And epic in this case does not mean, oh my God, it's awesome. It means like something else. You'll still have to listen as I'm reading it. Number 14 says, what famous writers were there in ancient Greece and what did they write? So they're going to list some authors and their poems. They wrote long poems. And number 15 says, what connection do we see with ancient Greek literature and the present day? And then there's this little asterisk here that says, the Odyssey is an epic poem all about how hard of a time the main character had trying to get home after he fought in a war. Can you think of a movie with a similar story where the main character had a really tough time getting home? So maybe just think about that one and see if you can think of a movie about that.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily a question, but an interesting idea. So let's go ahead. Huh? You don't have to. Station 4 says Greek literature. Much of what we know about the early Greeks comes from stories passed down through generations and from long poems that told stories. These long poems are called epic poems. That's an answer. According to tradition, a blind man named Homer composed one of the most famous epics, or these long poems. Homer's epic, or his long poem, was called the Iliad, and it was about the Trojan War, which started because a Trojan, or a person from the city of Troy, stole a Greek king's wife. In the Iliad, the Greeks surrounded the city of Troy for more than 9 years, trying to capture it. Finally, the Greeks convinced the Trojans that they had left by building this is a big word, conciliatory horse that was so large that the city walls had to be taken down to have it brought inside. However, many Greek soldiers were waiting inside the horse. And once the horse was inside the city walls, the Greeks destroyed the city. It should be familiar. So this horse that's over here is like a huge wooden horse, like humongous. They had to take down the walls of the city of Troy to get it inside. So this horse was like a I surrender type of thing. It's called the Trojan horse, yes. This is no. The Trojan horse was a gift to the Trojans, so they brought it inside, but it was really housing a ton of Greek soldiers who came out and destroyed the city and took it over. So that was the Trojan War and how the Trojan War ended. The Iliad, which is the long poem, is famous for its portrayal of heroes, including the warrior Achilles. When Achilles was a baby, his mother dipped him in a river that would make him live forever. When he was grown up, however, an arrow wounded Achilles in his one weak spot, the heel that his mother held as she lowered him into the water. For centuries, people thought Homer's story was fiction. Around 1870, archaeologists discovered the ruins of Troy. A real war had taken place there, but it did not happen exactly as the Iliad portrays it. Some of these stories are real, yes. They're based on true things, but others aren't. Homer's other major epic, or his long poem, was the Odyssey. It describes the adventures of the Greek hero Odysseus after the Trojan War. The Greek gods decided that Odysseus' trip should take him 10 years to get home. During that time, he and his men encountered many dangers. The gods sometimes helped Odysseus and sometimes worked against him. So there's some of that information. Up here on the right, this red box says, in addition to stories about the gods, the Greeks also told stories about their ancient heroes. So the gods would send these heroes to go run errands for them and do things. So a lot of the stories and myths are about these ancient heroes and not just the ancient gods. And then down here, the pink box says, a fable is a short story that usually involves animals and teaches a moral lesson. So it teaches you a lesson.
Was Hercules real?
I think so, yes.
Oh my god.
A storyteller named Aesop is credited for writing down many Greek fables. One of Aesop's best-known fables is The Tortoise and the Hare. In it, the hare, which is a rabbit, makes fun of the tortoise or a turtle for being slow. The tortoise challenges the hare to a race, and you know the rest of the tale. Do you guys know the rest of the tale? Okay, the rest of the tale is that the rabbit sprints off ahead and is like, oh, I got time, I'm going to take a nap. And then that turtle just comes up past him, finishes the race before him because that rabbit was like, I'm good, I'm going to win no matter what. And he was wrong. So, you know the rest of the tale, but the important part is the moral of the story. Slow and steady wins the race. We still use this story today to encourage people to work steadily at a task that seems impossible to accomplish. And then the blue or the green part over here says these ancient stories still influence speech and art today. For instance, we use the phrase Achilles' heel to refer to a person's weakest area. So if I say my Achilles' heel is math, it would mean that I'm not great at math. Okay?
My Achilles heel is writing.
Yeah. My Achilles' heel is not math. I'm amazing at math.
Mine is not as everything.
Okay, so that was kind of a longer one. And you guys have 4 questions to answer on this. I'm going to give you another 5 minutes.
What is that?
The one with the star next to it is just an extra little thing. Can you think of a movie where it takes the long time for the hero of the story to get home? So 5 minutes to work on these 4 problems. Finish 12 through 15, please, in complete sentences. Oh my goodness, what a concept.
are really hard though.
Great. Complete sentences. Be working on that, please. No, keep working. Mask on. Correctly, please.
Oh, my ears. No one even transition A because you have looked in that page since you opened it. More of the subject is what we understand. I have it whenever you need it. I would be down if I read it at all. No, I'd rather talk to these people.
Once you focus on it, try and get a couple questions done, please. Okay, about 2 more minutes on this one. About 1 more minute.
Oh, the minute make a for like all the stories that someone wrote.
Yeah, so you would say like one of the famous writers is Homer, and he wrote this one. Another famous ancient Greek writer is so-and-so, and he wrote this.
I thought it was
I think you can name the one.
I think you can make
Yeah, there are 2 authors on here, and at least write down one story that they wrote. So you should get 2 authors for number 4, and 1 story for each of them.
I thought more they were authors from Hollywood.
No, because I just read about them. All right, let's go ahead and look at station number 5. This is the last one we're going to do today. And then we will finish this tomorrow. So you are not responsible for going any farther than station 5 today. If you decide that you want to keep going, I guess that's fine, but we're going to do it tomorrow in class, so you don't really need to. But by tomorrow, you want to make sure you have up till station 5, so up through number 18 completed. So station 5, we're going to talk about Greek theater, so like a play, and drama. Number 16 says, what two types of dramas were invented by the Greeks? And then define what each of them are. Number 17, what kinds of things might I see or hear if I went to an ancient Greek drama at the theater? And number 18, what makes the story of Oedipus an example of a Greek tragedy? And then a little extra bonus one here. Can you answer the riddle of the Sphinx? So, we will. The riddle is on here, so we'll see if you guys can get it. This is kind of a long one.
I got it.
Okay, so let me read it. Station 5 says, the Greek theater. The Greeks invented drama as an art form. Drama was a written work designed for actors to perform. The Greeks built the first theaters in the Western world. Greek drama was part of every city's religious festival. The actors in plays were men who also played the parts of women. The actors wore colorful costumes and masks to portray their characters. The stage was set as colorful as well. Dancing was important in Greek festivals and plays, and often the play included a large chorus that danced, sang, and recited poetry. And then off to the right over here, we have kind of what it would look like. So the scheme right here is the stage, then the orchestra is where the music would be played, and then all of the things out here were the seats. Very much like a theater nowadays, right? So there are two types of dramas. This is one of the questions. Two types of dramas. There is a tragedy and a comedy. The first form, tragedy, was a serious drama that presented the downfall of an important character, like a king. Common themes for tragedies included love, war, and hate. So those are the sad and serious ones where bad things happen to the main character. The second form of a drama is called a comedy, which was a lot less serious than the other one. Comedies often made fun of politics, important people, and ideas, and then comedies usually ended up happy. So it's very much nowadays when you think about movies, you have comedies which are funny and fun to watch, and then you have sometimes even action movies or tragedies where there's a lot of bad things happening, right? So, like what? Garfield would be comedy, yes. So here is an example of one of the Greek tragedies. It's a play called Oedipus Rex by Sophocles. Oedipus in a nutshell. So this is kind of the summary of what happens in this play. It says, King Laius is willing to order his son Oedipus to be killed when a prophet tells him that his son will be his murderer. So basically, this prophet is like, yo, your son's going to kill you. So the king is like, yeah, you're dead. I'm killing you too. Oedipus's mother was unwilling to kill her own son, so she secretly gives him away to what will become Oedipus's foster parents. These foster parents never tell Oedipus that he is not really their son, so when Oedipus runs into the same prophet who tells him that he will kill his father, he decides to run away, but he doesn't know that his father isn't his foster father. So he's like, okay, I'm going to run away. I don't want to kill my dad. On the road, one second, Skylar. On the road, Oedipus runs into plenty of things, including a sphinx, which is a winged monster that has a woman's head, a lion's body, the wings of an eagle, and a serpent-headed tail. Not a sphinx yet. We have read other things in Percy Jackson, but not a sphinx. But the sphinx is terrorizing the city. To beat the sphinx, Oedipus must answer a riddle correctly. If he gets the riddle wrong, he will die. The riddle of the sphinx was, what goes on 4 legs in the morning, on 2 legs at noon, and on 3 legs in the evening? Oedipus was able to solve the riddle, so the sphinx killed herself. Next, Oedipus came across an unknown traveler on the same road. Insults were exchanged between the two, but in the end, Oedipus killed the unknown traveler to protect his honor. Soon, Oedipus found out that the unknown traveler was, in fact, a king. This meant that Oedipus would take over that kingdom and the queen would now become his wife. Things were really starting to look up for Oedipus until the prophet came back. The prophet informed Oedipus that he had, in fact, killed his biological father, King Laius, on the road and ended up marrying and sleeping with his mother, the queen. Oedipus could not handle this news, so he decided that he would scoop out his own eyeballs and walk the earth for the rest of eternity blind and poor. The extremely sad ending for this hero of the story, Oedipus, is what makes this play a perfect example of a tragedy. So would you consider this funny and fun?
Yeah.
No, this is not a comedy. This is a very good tragedy. Bad things happen to the main character over and over. The moral of this is not a fable. This is not a fable, so there's not technically a moral. What, Yoshi?
Have you seen the gods of Egypt? It's like it's based on that.
I've not seen it.
That's a good movie.
All right, so there are 3 questions to answer here. What are the 2 types of dramas? And define them. Those are the boxes on this page. Number 17, what kind of things might I see or hear if I went to a Greek drama at the theater? So that would be in this paragraph right here, the actors and the plays and all of that stuff on this one. And then finally, why is Oedipus a good example of a Greek tragedy? And if you can, answer the Sphinx's riddle. See if you can answer that. I don't want to know the answer. Because I just want you guys to answer the questions that are on there. Yes. Okay. So those of you that are online, make sure you finish up until station 5 today, and we will continue stations 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 tomorrow. And once you guys are there and caught up, you guys are welcome to head out, and we will see you for ELA in the